And other state news, Florida is getting ready for a world without the penny. A bill on Governor DeSantis' desk outlines when stores need to round up or down any cash transaction to the nearest nickel. Last year, the U.S. Mint stopped producing pennies, but they're still circulating. Retailers say this legislation will clear up any confusion between consumers and businesses.
Surprisingly, a lot of consumers still like to use cash. And again, like I said, we immediately began to see a reduction in the penny. And so that caused confusion. This is happening nationwide. And so again, Florida is one of the states leading the way in providing this guidance, but we're seeing this all over the country.
Now, these changes would not apply to card or digital transactions. The governor has until next Friday to sign that bill.